Good morning, everyone. Let us start by looking at our meditation posture. So ideally, we sit on the floor in full lotus posture. That might be a little bit difficult. Feel free to sit on a chair as well. Just make sure your back is straight, your body is upright. That's very important for alertness, and for the winds to flow in the body when the spine is aligned, when the body is upright. So ideally we sit in full lotus posture. That might be a little bit difficult. Make sure you are not pushing yourself, you are not forcing your body. So you can simply sit, cross-legged or just half lotus or even Burmese style, with one leg in front of the other. The hands are sitting on your lap in the concentration mudra, in the meditative mudra. So that means with your right hand in top of the left, and the two thumbs are slightly touching, and this rests at your lap. The most important, as I was saying, is for your back to be straight, for your body to be upright. Your shoulders are even and relaxed. You can imagine that there is a string pulling from your crown to keep your body upright, but don't be stiff. Your body must be flexible. You must be able still to turn from left to right freely. You can slightly tilt your head forward, just making sure the neck is aligned with the spine. The eyes are not completely closed. We leave them slightly opened for meditation, but we don't pay attention to what we are seeing. It is the mental consciousness that meditates. So the eyes are slightly opened and the sight is cast down a little bit, like 45 degrees cast down, like pointing the gaze like 1 or 2 meters ahead in front of us, but not paying attention to what our eyes are apprehending. And then finally, a tip of the ancient masters is for your tongue to be behind your upper teeth towards your upper palate. This helps to reduce the production of saliva. So this is the ideal posture. We call it the Buddha Vairochana 7-point posture. The most important is for your back to be straight, for your body to be upright. Then let us look at our minds. Let us look at our motivation for this session now that we are sitting properly. So we can contemplate a little bit how all dear Mother sentient beings, how they are trapped in cyclic existence. They are trapped in what we call samsara in Sanskrit, continuously taking rebirth again and again without any control. This is due to their karmas and afflictions. The root of the afflictions being this self-grasping ignorance that apprehends the I, the self, as existing independently, as existing objectively. We have this feeling of I existing truly, intrinsically, without depending on anything else. Because of this apprehension of the I as existing objectively, we have this feeling that we are the center of the universe. We have this feeling that we are more important than others. And because of this apprehension, all sorts of mental afflictions arise, such as anger, attachment, jealousy, pride, and so on and so forth. And because of these afflictions, we are constantly engaging in negative actions, such as killing, stealing, lying, and so on and so forth. And these will inevitably ripen as unpleasant experiences in the future. This is the law of cause and effect, the law of karma, we call in Sanskrit. So continuously, without control, according to the karmas we created, taking rebirth in different realms, sometimes realms that seem pleasant, such as human, asura, sura rebirths, but most of the time, being reborn as an animal, as a hungry ghost, or even in the very unpleasant suffering states of the hell realms, like the cold hells, the hot hells, where the suffering is constant and unbearable. So try to imagine, the various sentient beings, the unlimited, like countless sentient beings, experiencing these various types of rebirths. And you can, contemplate, even when sentient beings are reborn as humans, as animals, the various types of sufferings. Perhaps you also are making your own experience of suffering as a human. There are so many humans who are suffering very evidently, the suffering is obvious. For example, suffering of poverty, suffering of poor health, suffering of, because of conflicts in the family, at the workplace, and so on and so forth. Or the constant, stress, depression, anxiety. Nowadays, it's very common. But you can also contemplate, even in the God realms, in the Sura realms, where it doesn't seem that there is evident gross suffering. Still, we have been there countless times. Still, there is this, suffering of being trapped in samsara, being trapped in the prison of the mind, after living for a long time, indulging in pleasure in these realms. Inevitably, when this karma of experiencing pleasure comes to an end, then this life as a sura being comes to an end. And then imagine, it is said that the suras, they have this clairvoyance of saying that they are going to die, and they see where they will be reborn, So can you imagine the pain at that time, the anxiety for all this pleasure to stop, and seeing that you will be reborn, in the hell realms, or in the animal realm, in the hungry ghost realms, or even as a human, after experiencing pleasure all the time, must be very painful. So constantly, sentient beings are circling through in these various states of rebirth. Try to generate a sense of compassion for all sentient beings, may they be free from their karma and afflictions, may they be free from suffering, may they be liberated from samsara. And try to generate a sense of responsibility, Now I have this precious human rebirth, I have all my mental faculties. I live in a world, in a place where the Buddha has appeared 2,500 years ago. The Buddha has taught. The teachings are still widely available, especially, these days with internet. There are many followers of the teachings, and there are many people who support the followers, the Sangha. So now I have this precious opportunity to listen to these teachings, to contemplate on those teachings, and to meditate on them in order to transform my mind. So try to generate a sense of responsibility to take advantage of this precious life to use the teachings to transform my mind and eliminate all my afflictions, to eliminate even my cognitive obscurations, my obscurations to knowledge, my obscurations to omniscience, my obscurations to full awakening. I'm taking the responsibility to become a Buddha in order to liberate, in order to guide sentient beings unmistakably. Try to generate this most beautiful mind of bodhicitta for this session. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. So with this motivation in mind, we will engage in Shamatha practice, also called Shine in Tibetan, or in English we call it calm abiding or single-pointed concentration, single-pointed meditation. So there are 4 instructions for this. The first is the posture that we looked at the beginning of the session. The second instruction is the object of meditation. What are we actually meditating on? So if you are familiar with Shamatha, you can simply use the object that you usually take for this meditation. And if you're not familiar, what I would recommend is to take the sensation of the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Try to place all your attention on this sensation at the entrance of the nostrils as you breathe in, breathe out. How does it feel at the entrance of the nostrils? Try to place 100% of your attention on this point. This is your object of meditation. The third instruction is that during meditation, we get distracted. We lose our object of meditation. We are not focused anymore on the sensation of the breath at the entrance of the nostrils, because either we fall into what we call excitement, for example, thinking about the past and the future, thinking about your plans for today or what you were doing yesterday, and so on and so forth. And the other common way that we lose our object of focus is when the mind starts to sink, starts to fall into dullness or lethargy. These are the 2 main ways we lose our object, either excitement or laxity, dullness. So the final instruction is to use the 2 antidotes to these errors of meditation. And it is completely normal, that we lose our object, especially as beginners. What is important is to use these 2 antidotes. So the first one is called introspection or alertness. So it is a part of your mind, that throughout the meditation is constantly checking. Am I meditating? Am I concentrated on my, object of meditation? So your mind is focused on your object of meditation, and in the background, a small part of your mind is checking, which is called alertness, which is called introspection, is looking if your mind is doing what you want it to do and not gets distracted. So this introspection is checking, and when it notices that the object of meditation is lost because of excitement or because of laxity, then we use the mental factor, which is the second antidote of mindfulness. And the role of this mindfulness is to bring the mind back onto the object. Introspection notices that, for example, instead of being focused on my object of meditation, I'm thinking about my plans for this afternoon. So introspection notices that, and then immediately mindfulness takes over and brings the mind back onto the object and makes sure that my focus, my attention stays onto my object of meditation. This is the role of mindfulness. So quickly, I will recap the 4 instructions. There is the posture. Most important is for your back to be straight. The object of meditation is the second instruction. I would recommend using the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. The third instruction is the 2 errors of meditation, which are excitement and laxity. And finally, the last instruction, the two antidotes to these two errors, which are introspection and mindfulness. So we will try to meditate like this for about 10 minutes. gently come out of the meditation. 10 minutes of doing calm abiding might not seem like a lot, but if one is able, for 10 minutes to remain on their meditation object for the entire duration without, being distracted, then one is a great meditator, actually. One has already reached, levels of progressing towards calm abiding. And, the ancient masters, they recommended not to meditate for too long, to take short meditation sessions of 5, 10, 15, up to 24 minutes, so that, when we finish our session, we still want to meditate, Otherwise, if we meditate for too long, especially as beginners, if we sit for 1 hour, 2 hours, at the end of the session, we might have this tendency to get an aversion, to our meditation cushion. And the next time we will see our meditation cushion, we don't want to meditate anymore. So, of course, these ancient masters would advise, not to go there, to keep your meditations short, to do them, to do more short meditations than to do a few long meditations. So, and anyway, if you're already able to meditate for 10 minutes without being distracted, then your meditation is very, very, very good. I didn't count, but personally in 10 minutes I was distracted, so many times, thinking about so many different things. But the training that we are doing is, to notice it and bring back the mind onto the object. That is the most important. To train our mind in these two mental factors of introspection and mindfulness. So we can dedicate the merits of training in those mental factors of introspection and mindfulness, training our minds, trying to develop our concentration, trying to reach calm abiding, trying to reach shamatha. We can dedicate those merits so that we may soon, very soon, eliminate all our karmas, afflictions, and also our cognitive obscurations, so that we may become fully awakened Buddhas in order to benefit countless sentient beings living non-aside. May the supreme mind of bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. May the wisdom realizing emptiness that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. We also pray for the long and healthy lives of our lamas, in particular His Holiness the Dalai Lama. May His Holiness live a very long and healthy life, so that he may continue to teach us, to guide us, and may all his holy wishes become spontaneously fulfilled. We also pray for the swift return of our spiritual director, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, who showed the aspect of passing away last year. May we soon have the fortune to find his unmistaken reincarnation, so that Rinpoche may continue to guide us and to guide the organization, the Foundation for the Preservation of the Mahayana Tradition, which is a network of about 160 centers around the world, and Tushita Delhi is one of these centers and projects. Due to the merits we have accumulated, may all the wars around the world immediately come to an end. May there be no new wars, may there be no famine, no disease, no quarreling, no fighting, no catastrophes of the elements. May peace and harmony prevail in everyone's hearts and minds. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. And the next meditation will be on Monday morning at 9 a.m. And this weekend, on Sunday, we have Venerable Jamyang, who is going to give a teaching on Sunday at 11 a.m. And the teaching will be is called Becoming Your Own Therapist. So this is both in person here at Tushita and online on Zoom as well, the same link that you are using for this meditation. Sunday at 11 a.m. from 11 to 1 p.m. And then next Monday also Kabirji will give his last teaching on Monday evening at 6:30 before actually leaving to Bodh Gaya on Tuesday. And most of this year Kabirji will be in Bodh Gaya taking care of projects as per Lama Zopa Rinpoche's wish. So don't miss the chance on Monday evening for taking the teaching from Kabirji, Monday 6:30 p.m. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful weekend, and see you on Sunday 11 a.m. for Venerable Jamyang's teaching. Bye-bye.